last one. He absolutely rules. He is my best friend in the comedy scene because he pays me to say that. And he laughs at everything. Let's give a big old welcome to Mr. Jordan Hale!
Well, keep clapping. I gotta set all this shit up. Keep clapping. All right, stop. It's gratuitous. Knock it out. Hi, everybody. Hey. Thanks for coming to the show. Really glad to see y'all here. I'm very anxious. I'm in full state. These bad boys, so please look at my eyes and not at my armpits. A couple of points of housekeeping. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and in honor of Mother's Day, I brought my mom here. She recently got engaged. This is the second show. Don't clap for that. We don't have time for this. Y'all gotta pace yourselves. She recently got engaged. This is the second show of mine she's ever seen, and in honor of Mother's Day, her gift is she gets to hear her baby boy say "fuck" on stage like 18 times. Brace yourself. It's only gonna get worse from here. Figure we should start the jokes though. I've been having some awkward situations at work. I recently had to come out to my coworkers as straight. I was in the HR meeting and the HR rep was like, in this room we have 4 examples of diversity. We have an Asian man, an Indian woman, and with Jordan we have a twofer. He is black and homosexual. I was like, ma'am, 2 things. 1, I think you're a terrible HR rep. No one said homosexual in years, and you don't just point people out like that. And 2, I'm not gay. I'm not gay. I'm not gay. It's really important. I don't care what an HR rep or my thoughts keep telling me. I'm not gay. I'm just bad at talking to women because I always try and use pickup lines. I'm gonna give you an example. I once went to this party in college, this is an old joke, and I saw a woman I knew from math class, and I was like, oh, I'll hit her with a math-based pickup line. She'll think I'm smart, and then she'll touch my peen. Y'all know how pickup lines work. I walked up to her real smooth like, and I was like, hey girl, let's make like perpendicular lines. We'll meet once and then never again. Everybody here is sitting in a puddle right now. But weirdly enough, it didn't work on her. She laughed at me, threw a drink in my face. It was rude. I was like, ma'am, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Let's make like parallel lines. We'll never meet, but I'll always be near you. And I left the party, or so she thought. I do love a good pickup line. Can I tell you guys the best pickup line I've ever heard? I'm gonna do it anyway since I got the mic. The best pickup line I've ever heard was screamed by a very drunk woman to no one in particular across a bar. She kind of turned around and she was like, I fight like I book. Constantly and only with men. That's a good pickup line for 3 reasons. It's short, it's sexy, it's a little scary. I modified this pickup line for my own purposes. I fight like I book. I've never been in one, but I've been training since I was 13 years old. Yeah! It's gonna happen any day now, guys. As you saw by that high kick. I am excited to be doing this show. Admittedly, I've not been doing as much stand-up lately as I'd like because I recently left the country. I actually went to Thailand for about like 13 days. It was an incredible time. No class for Thailand, fine. You uncultured motherfuckers. Too late, desperate clappers. I went to Thailand. Thailand was incredible. It was like a whole new world, a total cultural exchange. It was like being in a different place. Until about day 5, and I realized that Thailand is just the Florida of Southeast Asia. It's hot, it's humid, no one speaks English, everyone's doing crime. It's a terrible place. Personally, I went to Thailand for non-sex pervert reasons. But if you are a sex pervert, Marcy, listen up. You can really clean up over there. Every 10 feet, somebody hands you a laminated postcard that has a list of sex acts you can see. It's insane. The first one, it's a little boring. We all have YouTube, we've seen it. Pussy ping pong. A woman puts a ping pong in her God's goodness and shoots it across the room. The second one, very similar, pussy pop balloon. Same principle, more force, she uses a dart. The third one threw me. Pussy write letter. I had a lot of questions. One, is it a single letter or is she like right now like a note letter? Is she using a stamp or a pen? Calligraphy? Do I get to dictate the letter? It doesn't matter. The point of the story is I have a new secretary. Oh, the Thai baht exchange rate is incredible. The best thing that happened to me in Thailand was one time I was walking through a street market and a street vendor tried to get my attention. And I was dutifully ignoring him because that's what you do to street vendors. And he's trying everything to get my attention and eventually he goes, Barack Obama! Barack Obama! And I turned around and I was like, hey buddy! Thank you. That is the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me. Can I purchase everything you have? I get why he thought I was Barack Obama. I was very tired, and I was surrounded by white people that did not respect me at all. But I do think it's kind of weird that he thought I was Barack Obama. I thought it was weird that he thought I was black, because I found that people sometimes have a trouble guessing my ethnicity. Sir, what race do you think I am? There's no wrong answers. He's like, why is this Mexican guy talking about Barack Obama? I'm black, but sometimes people don't talk to me like they know I'm a black man. I was at a bar recently, and I was having a nice conversation with what I thought was a nice bartender. She serves a black customer, he walks away, and she looks at me with like a wink and a smile, and she goes, I hate serving black customers. They're the worst tippers in the world. It was fucked up. Like, I wasn't about to leave her the worst tip in the world. But I was like, Jordan, calm down. She thinks you're a white man. This is your chance. Take your moment. I did the only thing I could think of. I started talking down to her and telling her how to do her job. And now I run that place. Yeah! Fucking white privilege, baby. I was recently at a party and a white girl said the N-word. That's right, Aaron, it was horrible. Your eyes got really wide. I don't remember what this white woman said, but if I had to guess, it was probably, nigga, I love yoga. Or like, nigga, I love Lena Dunham. Or like, nigga, wage gap. You know what they're always talking about. And this happens all the time at parties. You just ignore it, you just like let it go. People get drunk, they say shit, you ignore it. But not this time, it was crazy. Someone walked up to her and was like, hey, that's messed up. That Mexican guy over there is really mad. You should apologize. And not only did she apologize, she wrote me a letter apologizing. That's not a punchline. I have a letter that says, I'm sorry, I got drunk and said the N-word, that was messed up. It's the greatest possession I have. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, writing a letter apologizing for using the N-word is the whitest way to apologize. But more importantly, do you know how hard it is to find the perfect stationery? You can't go to Walmart. You gotta go to Hallmark, find the Charlie Sheen section. It's a mess. It's a mess. I shouldn't make fun of white women, as you probably guessed from everything about me. I date white women. I date white women for a lot of reasons. One, I'm trying to move into a higher tax bracket. And two, I'm learning a lot about white culture. Did you know you can buy a bird? There's not a single law or regulation against it. They don't even check. I don't know who looks at a majestic creature flying through the sky and says, "I'm gonna break that thing's spirit." Put it in a cage where it can scream and poop. For 60 years, birds live so long. But if I had to guess, they love podcasts and milk and dancing slightly off beat. I haven't... Man, my aunt fucking loved that game. She's like, Betty, she's right. White people do dance like that. Speak truth to power. I haven't done that joke in a while because the last time I did it, I was at a show with a bunch of old and young people. The young people loved it, the old people hated it. They looked at me like they had been there when birds were invented. Ugh, they were so mad. I'm dating one white woman right now. I don't want to brag, but she's got all the things a lady has. Teeth, skin, hair. You know what women are. It's going pretty well, and I know it's going well because she tricked me into going to a fun run in Tarboro. Does anybody here know where Tarboro is? And I'm not saying Carborough wrong. Yeah, rural North Carolina. Not a lot of black people. And this was apparent to me when about halfway through the fun run, I looked behind me, and a cop car was leading us into a cotton field. And I turned around and I was being chased by a horde of white people. And yes, they were also the fun runners, but more importantly, I posted my best time ever. Thank you, racism. One more white woman story. You guys see the movie Get Out? You guys see the movie Get Out? If you haven't seen it, black guy goes to a White House, he gets out. Cinema masterpiece. I'm watching it. My girlfriend didn't want to see it at the time, but I tricked her into seeing it. And the way back, she was talking. She loved it in that way that white people love black movies. Like the whole way back, she was like, "Wow, what an important film! How important! Thank you for taking me to go see that. We need to go see Green Book. It's so important." Wow, what a film! And then eventually, she gets real quiet and she goes, "Just so you know, my family doesn't kidnap black people." And I was like, cool! Exactly what a kidnapper would say, though. She was sweet. I am excited to be dating one woman. Lauren, lift your head. I am excited to be dating a singular woman now because that means I'm off Tinder. Anybody here on Tinder? Oh, thank God, we're all free. Are we all done? Are we done with Tinder? Doesn't matter, we'll get to it later. I am excited to be off Tinder because that means I no longer have Tinder stories. I'm gonna tell you guys the best thing that ever happened on Tinder and the worst thing that ever happened on Tinder. The best thing was a while back I did a show, went well, went home, got on Tinder as young horny men do. Sorry, Mom. I swiped right, met a nice girl, and we talked for a little bit, and about 15 messages in, she goes, "Hey, this is gonna sound weird, but did you do stand-up at Full Steam Brewery on, tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was me." And she was like, "Cool." And then she unmatched with me. I don't know what joke I'm telling that makes women lose all sexual attraction to me. But if I had to guess, it's probably the next one. The worst thing that ever happened to me on Tinder was I met with this girl. We didn't have a lot of conversation. We agreed to go to Indian buffet. We met there, and I was like, "Oh, I'll do the classic first date thing. What do you like?" It'll be a springboard into conversation, a second date, romance, love, a kid. I was in a weird place. So I asked her, what do you like? And she goes, well, I like cocaine. And I was like, cool, I like Harry Potter. That was the high point of the conversation. I kept trying to bring it back to regular things. I was like, you see the new Black Panther trailer? And she's like, no, but one time I threw up in the back of a cop car for robbing a jewelry store. Mom, you would have loved her. So, the dinner mercifully ends. And we're sitting outside waiting for her Uber. I found out about halfway through the date she got like a DUI like 6 days ago. Love it. We're waiting for her Uber, and she's like, do you mind if I smoke a cigarette? And I'm like, honestly, it's weirder if you don't smoke a cigarette. So she lights up the cigarette, and I'm just scanning the horizon for her Uber. And out of the corner of my eye, I see she's going in for a kiss. And I'm like, well, my self-esteem has never been lower. I'm an unpaid amateur comedian. I will reciprocate this woman's awful kiss. So I lean in, she leans in, I open my mouth, she opens, you guys know what kissing is, I open my mouth, she opens her mouth, and she blows a plume of smoke directly into my mouth. Laughs, walks into her Uber. And guys, I am so excited to say that the wedding is next Wednesday. Woo! No, but I am excited to be in a relationship. I'm glad to be out of the market. I am glad that I'm a comedian, dating a comedian. It's nice to have a sense of humor in a relationship, but I do find that comedy is not a very sexy form of art. Like, you can't write, it's like, let me explain. You write a poem for your girl, and she's like, you're right, my eyes are limpid pools of beauty, thank you. You write a song for a girl, and she's like, you're right, the boys are back in town, thank you. But I try and write one joke about the time my girl sharted in an Uber, and try to blame it on the Uber driver, and I'm ruining Grandma's birthday party? Okay. How am I doing? Am I doing good? I am not tying this out, but I will not get off the stage till I'm done. I really like this set, but it's not the weirdest set I've ever done. The weirdest set I've ever done was I did stand-up comedy at a bat mitzvah. For y'all who don't fuck with the Jews, a bat mitzvah is when a Jewish girl becomes a Jewish woman. And my coworker, who is a terrible judge of character, was like, hey Jordan, you're a comedian. You want to tell jokes at my daughter's coming of age ritual? Before he even finished his sentence, I agreed. So rarely does one man get sent back race relationships between two groups of people so clearly. I could be the boogeyman in those girls' lives for the rest of their lives. It's great. So I was writing the set, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I found it kind of hard to write the set, because I don't know a lot about 13-year-old girls. Which is good. You should know shit about 13-year-old girls. Unless you have one, it's suspicious. And obviously you can't Google what do 13-year-old girls like, because the only worst thing to Google is how do I build a bomb? Eventually, my coworker and friend is like, well, why don't you just message the girl on Facebook and see what she likes? And I'm like, yeah, let me message a preteen girl on Facebook and find out her interests? Hey, I work with your dad. What do you like? It's for a secret. I'm definitely going back to jail, right? But I wrote the set. Do you guys want to hear the opening joke? Okay, yeah. Okay, y'all gotta clap me in, because they loved it. You gotta clap me. Wow. Lahia. Wow. So excited to be here. But guys, I got one question for you. Have you let Jesus into your heart today? I did, and he made a mess of everything. He trapped in mud, he wouldn't take off his sandals. That's the end of the joke. That joke is gloriously stupid. But you know who really hates it? My mom! My mom is a character, which is the polite way of saying that she's an insane person. One time, out of the blue, my mom called me and she was like, Jordan, Lordy, 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 Lordy. I was like, Mom, calm down. When you're stressed, you talk like a slave. She was like, I was taking a survey for UNC and I got to the part about how you identify. And I understood straight. I understood gay. I got bi, pan I was a little confused by. But then there was gender non-conforming, and there was gender queer, and there was non-binary, and I think I picked the wrong one. What do I do? And I was like, Mom, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. You're gay now. The gay agenda won. You lost. It's okay. We're gonna find you a wife. It's gonna be great. My mom is a very religious woman, and she hates that I do stand-up, and she hates that I swear. She thinks that comedy is pulling me away from God. Which it is, but it's rude of her to point that out. I'm gonna give you guys the review she did of a show she did not come to. But she heard from my aunt, who is also in the audience. Great lady. I gotta read it. I heard you were amazing, but you shouldn't kiss your mother with that mouth. God is always watching. Congrats! And find a church home. I love that review because it has so many ups and downs in it. It's kind of like, I'm really glad you finally found your talent. I hope you get to perform at Satan's house someday. One last mom anecdote. I recently started therapy. Stand-up comedian doing therapy. No one's talking about that tonight. And I was like, well, I don't really know where to start. I've done therapy before. It's been a while. I never know where to start. And my mom goes, well, you can talk about anything. Just don't talk about me because it'll make me sad. And I was like, that's probably a good place to start, right? It's like maybe 3 sessions on that bad boy right there. Just really unpacking that nugget. I hear her feebly trying to explain in the audience. Ignore her. She's a maniac. Let's transition. Am I the only person that's confused about why mannequins get nipples in stores? Who decides that? Is it like a store manager or is it just sex appeal? Because, buddy, I'm already rock hard in this Target because of the savings. Who here is a feminist? Make some noise. Who here is a male feminist? Wrong answer, Jesse. It was a trap and you fell expertly into it. Being a male feminist is not a thing to applaud for or to tell people. Women don't like it. They find it suspicious. Being a male feminist is like if you opened up a taco truck and every time you handed out a taco, you're like, hey, here's your food. It's not poison. It's not, but it's weird that you keep saying that. I was recently, thank you. She fucking loves it. Woo! I was recently standing on Franklin Street. I got out of an Uber. I was waiting for a party to start. And the weirdest thing happened to me. This dude came up and handed me $5. Strange. Next dude came up, handed me a hamburger. A woman came up to me, handed me a pocket Bible, and I was like, shit. These motherfuckers think I'm homeless. I thought I was looking fly. I was wearing 3 coats. It was cold that day. I was like, this is wrong. I gotta stop this. I gotta step in. This can't be happening. So I was like, next person that comes up, I'm gonna make an example of him. So this dude walks up, hands me $10, and I go, hey! Thank you, God bless you. I shouldn't tell that joke because it's a dark joke, but also I was like briefly homeless as a child. Not in like a cool way, I didn't join a gang, I just do stand-up comedy now. Like I have like a deep hole of neediness in me that needs to be filled constantly. But that brief respite of not housedness did give me some insight into the world. For example, am I the only person that's more afraid of white homeless people than black homeless people? Let me explain. You see a black homeless person, you're like, socioeconomically, that makes sense. I understand what drove you here. You see a white homeless person, you're like, how'd you waste your golden ticket, buddy? I once saw an Asian homeless person, I ran the other direction. Nice try! Not gonna get me. Thanks, James. When you're doing good, you can stop and take a beer drink. I recently got promoted at work. It's the kind of promotion where they don't tell you and they don't pay you any more money. I got promoted to head of diversity outreach, which means occasionally they take a picture of me to prove they have a black person in the office. Woo! If you go to my company's LinkedIn page right now, it is a picture of me high-fiving the one Israeli employee. I thought I was high-fiving a friend. I was promoting a brand. No one told me. There's not a lot of minorities at my job, as you probably gathered from the previous punchline. And it causes some kind of weird situations occasionally. People think I'm the holy high arbiter of all black people. Which I am. That's like weird that they assume that. Recently I was called into a meeting by my boss, and my boss said, Jordan, there's no easy way to ask this, I'm just gonna ask it. Who is Cardi B? And I did the only thing I could think of. I lied to that white man. So if you see him, you'll recognize him. He's like a white guy with a job. Cardi B died saving all those kids in that cave in Thailand. Hey Gleason, how much time I got left? Dose? Fuck yeah! Thank God. Timed this perfectly. Alright, y'all want to hear the last 2 jokes? Yeah! You guys want to hear the most racist thing that's happened to me at work? Yeah! And I really hate that I can act at work, but it has been a wild 27 years, y'all. I work at this company, I just mentioned it. And every Monday we have a meetup where we talk about what the company's been up to these days. And we have this old southern lady that talks like, you know, like Paula Deen. You know how she talks, like sweet tea, biscuits, gravy, you know how she talks. And we always stand in the back because we hate these meetings, and she doesn't like that. She's like, move up, y'all. We're like, Paula, chill. She's like, move up, y'all. I'm like, ma'am, calm. She's like, move up, y'all. We're like, okay, that's weird. And then eventually she says, unprompted, why y'all standing in the back? It's not like this is a lynching. Oh, she said it, y'all. Every white butthole in the audience goes airtight. I look at the other black coworker, Stephanie, I'm like, Mondays, am I right? Y'all, I'm about to unpack why that's fucked up, but I really gotta stress, there are not a lot of black people in my job. It's me, it's Stephanie, it's Black Tim. We call him Black Tim because there's a white Tim, an Asian Tim, and a black Tim. And you can't guess who we just called Tim. But I'm gonna tell you why it's messed up what she said. 1, she said it, you should never talk about lynching. Horrible thing. 2, she said it real fast, like it's a phrase from her family. That's alarming, we'll circle back to that in a second. 3, why does she know the seating arrangement of a lynching? Y'all, I always thought it was like first come, first serve. And she's like, no, you want the little kids in the front and the tall kids in the back so they can see the... Is that what you learned at Cotillion? Is that what it's all about? Y'all have been a wonderful audience. Woo! Wow! Yeah! Yay! Woo! Much like my good friend, best friend, co-show runner, Marcy, I am also going to close with my first joke. Will probably knows it. Very excited. And this is true. Hand models, people who model their hands, wear leather gloves full of lotion to bed to keep their hands looking wonderfully young. That's a fact. You can verify it afterwards. I was Googling hand stuff for a reason. Don't worry about it. I have taken this piece of information and modified it for my own purposes. I wear a leather gimp suit full of lotion to bed every night. Allow me to explain. 1, my skin is wonderfully young. I'm 59 years old. And 2, nobody will ever rob me. Could you imagine breaking into my house? You hear the soft, padded leather feet coming down the hallway. I saunter up to you. That's not for the joke. I walk like that normally. I unzip the mask and I go, "What are you doing here?" You wouldn't rob me. You scream yourself and say, "Oh my gosh, guys! Thank you for coming out. Thank you for laughing. Thank you to Jake. Thank you to Marcy. Thank you to Mother's Day. Go hug your moms. Laugh at comedy. Support local comedy. Kiss your family. And may God bless all of you."